Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Acupuncture is My Life. Now in today's episode, this is in response to a request by many individuals on one of our social media platforms, TikTok, as well as a few individuals that I've spoken with via a virtual health conference. They requested that we discuss rheumatoid arthritis and how is it viewed in the eyes of an acupuncturist, and can it help? Can acupuncture help with rheumatoid arthritis? And yes, it can. Yes, it can. And I'm sure there are some of our TikTok audience from Thailand that are listening, as well as France and Spain and Canada. It's not as if this is dedicated to you, but here's your request. This is the answer to your request or response. But basically, there's a lot of individuals out there who have not been affected by this disorder. So just so that you understand, rheumatoid arthritis is a chronic inflammatory disorder that affects the joints in the body, especially those in the feet as well as the hands. Now, understand something. Unlike osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disorder whereby the body's immune system attacks its own tissue, including the joints. And in severe cases, it attacks the internal organs. So, rheumatoid arthritis is serious, and I see tons of patients. As a board-certified doctor of acupuncture, I see tons of patients in the Acupuncture is My Life clinic here in New York City, and so does many of my colleagues globally. And periodically, we'll discuss cases, interesting aspects of those cases, and that's why, I'm also discussing rheumatoid arthritis in this podcast, because there are several issues that I want to go over that many people don't understand. But first and foremost, from an acupuncturist perspective to an acupuncturist, this type of disorder, that being rheumatoid arthritis, is seen as painful obstruction syndrome, where the pain, soreness, or even numbness of the muscles, tendons, and joints are seen as being affected by external pathogenic wind or cold or even dampness. Now, wind, cold, and dampness, sometimes when it comes to pain, have you ever been exposed to cold and your joints tend to stiff up? Some individuals even feel pain, as well as on windy days or those damp hot days or just damp days in general. These are considered exterior pathogenic factors to an acupuncturist. So that's what I mean when I say you're affected by exterior pathogenic wind or cold or even dampness. Now, when I say obstruction relative to painful obstruction syndrome, as an acupuncturist, this means obstruction in the circulation of qi and blood in the channels, which is caused by what I've just stated: exterior wind, cold, or even dampness. Because when qi and blood stagnates, pain follows. Pain follows, all right? Now, exterior wind, cold, or dampness tends to serve as the main cause of this disorder. Now, there are other contributing factors that can be as, let's say, excessive exercise, which tends to injure the sinews and the muscles and depletes qi and blood. Yeah, moderate exercise is great, but you have individuals that'll exercise 4 hours a day. That's too much. You're depleting your qi and blood when you're injuring your muscles, your sinews, when you really go above and beyond. Even overwork, let's say, for many years without the appropriate amount of rest, tends to result in a deficiency of qi and yin. Remember, yin and yang must remain in balance. So as a result of overwork, you face a deficiency of both blood and yin, which then leads to malnourishment of the internal channels. Thereby, in the channels, it affects the muscles, the joints, the tendons, and so forth. You know what, though? To many individuals' surprise as an acupuncturist when I explain this to them, those that have been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, emotional stress can serve as a contributing factor, because stress causes chi to stagnate in the channels. Stagnant chi, there's pain. Stress can even deplete a person's chi and blood, leading to malnourishment within the channels again, causing pain in the muscles, tendons, and joints. And that's how it's viewed from an acupuncturist perspective, and we treat it and very successful in treating rheumatoid arthritis. But there are things that many individuals don't understand when it comes to rheumatoid arthritis, which is, let's say, rheumatoid arthritis being a chronic autoimmune and inflammatory condition where the immune system doesn't work properly. As a result, there will be inflammation of the joints along with other symptoms. And this isn't like an age-neutral type of disorder. It can affect all ages, young to old. There are multiple types. You have to understand this. There are multiple types of rheumatoid arthritis, including seropositive, seronegative, and juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Okay? Juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. You got to understand, everyone, health is wealth. You see, the wealth isn't in the bank. It's not in the safe. It's not in your pocket. It's not in your purse. It's not under the mattress. It's not in the doghouse, under the doghouse in the backyard, or in a shoebox in the closet. Gotcha. It's in you. Now understand something. Some people will go and get blood work done and say, hey, I don't have rheumatoid arthritis. Understand something. Seronegative rheumatoid arthritis does not present with a positive RA factor or anti-CCP in the person's blood work. Understand that. Please understand that. And being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis can happen quickly, or it can even take quite some time. Understand that as well. And also, rheumatoid arthritis symptoms can sometimes be mild or debilitating. It can vary. It can be from mild to severe and include joint pain. It can include fatigue, bone erosion, stiffness, deformity of the joints. These are some of the symptoms that rheumatoid arthritis, individuals diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, can experience. And it can be both a visible and an invisible chronic illness. Please understand that. It depends on the symptoms in which you experience at any given time. This is a serious autoimmune disorder, and no one should take it lightly. And this is why I'm always recommending see your local acupuncturist or contact Acupuncturist My Life, because there are many individuals walking around with this disorder. Some, very few, don't know it, but the many try and suffer through it. Okay? Many attempt to suffer through it. And of course, acupuncture is available for those newly diagnosed. So if you know someone who's been diagnosed recently with this disorder, send them to an acupuncturist. Yeah, you can send them to see a rheumatologist, their physician, to monitor progress, but definitely send them to see an acupuncturist. definitely send them to see an acupuncturist. Because treatment as well as diagnosis, treatment protocol can be different for each patient. So you may meet or know someone who has it and you're recently diagnosed with it, and you'll assume that whatever treatment regimen you put on by your physician is going to be the same as someone else that you know with it. And you can also know of someone who's been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and they've gone to see an acupuncturist. They've gone to see an acupuncturist. Their treatment protocol 10 times out of 10 is going to be different from your treatment protocol. Why? Because again, I say this over and over, everyone's constitution is different. And one of the bigger complaints that I notice in patients is not so much the pain, that's like number 2, it's the fatigue. Fatigue can be overwhelming at times. Many patients have told me, Doc, I can deal with the pain, it's just the fatigue, it's annoying. But I speak to them about stress management. As an acupuncturist, I have stress management protocols, treatment protocols for patients. We discuss Eastern nutrition. Diet is important. Recommendations for sleep and exercise as well. Amounts of room temperature water you should drink. Everyone's different. Please understand that. You know what? If you're operating a vehicle right now, do me a favor. Pull it over to the side of the road. If you're crossing the street at the moment, please hurry and get across the street. And if you're carrying or lifting something heavy, take a moment and rest it down. I need everyone in a relaxed state because I need you to close your eyes. And I need you to say to yourself, acupuncture is my life. And now open them. Boom. You are now brand new. But now when it comes to rheumatoid arthritis, and can acupuncture help? Yes, it can, as I stated earlier, because acupuncture can actually, in those that haven't been diagnosed yet, can actually prevent painful obstruction syndrome or prevent the recurrence of it if you've already been cured by your acupuncturist or even your physician. As an acupuncturist myself, who've treated this disorder many times, I would generally look to nourish the patient's blood to expel any exterior pathogenic factors that contribute to rheumatoid arthritis. And if I'm treating an elderly individual, I would nourish their yin as well. It's very important. And if there are those who have bone issues, bone deformities, pain, the bones, I would tonify qi as well as resolve phlegm. And in some cases would even administer moxibustion therapy, which is very effective. See your local acupuncturist, especially if you've been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis or feel nervous as to if you may. Because then regular wellness visits will deal with that. Can potentially prevent you from even getting it. This is why I say over and over, you must make acupuncture part of your life. Because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?